Welcome back to another TalkTruth Live Series. I'm your host, Shanique Davis. Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. We do have a fantastic show planned, of course. And as usual, I want to say thank you all to those who have been with us from the get go. Thank you to all our viewers, subscribers, new founding family members, relatives, neighbors, everybody. We are so grateful for you being a part of our journey. And we hope that you continue to support and continue to enjoy the show. If you are an author, entrepreneur, coach, or you just have a story to tell, please let us know. And if you really want us to discuss a trending topic, you can also let us know. Just send us an email and we will make it happen. Of course, do not leave without subscribing. We are only streaming live on YouTube and it's just temporarily. So we do apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused. Please understand we are building our channel and we are just trying to get everyone to participate because a lot of persons still don't have this. So without further ado, I'm going to start us off with a brief word of prayer as usual, and then we will get started. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we are grateful for today. God, we thank you that it is in you that we live, breathe, and have our being. Your strength, you said, is made perfect in our weakness. And so we pray that every weakness, God, we will not be ashamed, but Lord, we pray that you will be exalted and you'll be glorified, knowing that we could have done nothing and overcome nothing without you. So, God, we ask you to bless your people as they join us tonight. And we tell you thanks for these and other mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you all for joining. Please just like and share the video, leave a comment, or just say hi, don't be shy. And I will definitely mention your name in our roll call. So I'm going to be bringing on tonight's guest. Yay! I'm going to tell you who our guest for tonight is. So tonight's guest is, of course, Tuesday nights are for. He is an author, show host, public and motivational speaker. His superpower is helping others become the best version of themselves. How about you, huh? After he discovered this superpower within himself, he realized it's possible for everyone to find the great abilities within and become their own heroes. His story is one of overcoming the expectations of others, fighting depression and suicidal thoughts. He also hopes you will change your circumstances by facing your fears. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome tonight's guest. And it is always an honor, Jay Reace.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for bringing me on. I appreciate it. Wow, I love that intro. Thank you.
And I appreciate you coming on. I did go on your Facebook page and I checked out your content and I really like it.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
yes. So just if I missed anything in the bio, just tell us a little bit more about yourself. Say hi to the viewers and then I will get into tonight's conversation.
All right. Well, hello, everyone watching at home or on your laptop or phone, wherever you are. Wow, you said almost everything about me in my intro, other than the fact of I actually used to be a motivational DJ, which is just me playing upbeat music and music that had a conscious message to it. Ever since I was a kid, I've always loved helping people. I think that's where the core of me, my essence kind of started. But back then, I had a conversation with my father that kind of led me down a different road of conformity and fitting into what everybody else's expectations were. And that led me to a career that I absolutely hated, that I felt depressed, suicidal thoughts, and I just had to get out of it. And yeah, so luckily I was able to transition from that position and begin a new career of writing, motivating people, and just helping everyone become their best selves, as you mentioned in my introduction.
Right. And clearly it was out of your own experience of hating something that somebody basically talked you into doing. So you will know firsthand how that feels, and you wouldn't want not even your enemy to go through such a thing. So of course, the right thing to do,
Mhm.
which became your superpower, is helping others be their best selves. That's really awesome. And I wish that a lot more people would actually put it that way. It's not because you wanted to make money. It's not because of any wrong ulterior motive, but it was
Mhm.
because you really had a passion for seeing other people learn from your mistakes. And I commend you for doing that. That
Oh,
shows
thank
that
you.
you really care. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Um, Tonight is usually for authors, but I really love the storyline already. So I'm going to be going into both.
Okay.
I'll be bouncing.
I love it. I love it.
So if I missed anything, don't be afraid to share it because the viewers are very interactive. So just enjoy yourself. So
Okay. All right. I'll enjoy myself. Kick back. Yes.
All right, so first tell us about your book. I really love the cover. It really does
Oh,
say it gave me what do you call that now? When you watch the dragon movies with a little
mhm.
bit of fairy tale in it, yeah, it
Mhm.
really gave me that feel. Tell us about the cover design and the title and what it is about.
Okay, so the cover design came while I was actually writing the book. So
Mm-hmm,
I'm all about symbols and what they mean and stuff. And the family inside of the book, their family seal is a lion. And that family is going through the situation of where they're looking for peace. And no matter where they go, they can't find it until they get to a point where they actually are able to just rest. But like all good stories, that rest doesn't last very long. So, because of decisions the parents made, the whole family's having to go back and deal with the consequences. It's a action adventure fantasy that is, if I had to say anything, it's kind of like the Avengers meets the Incredibles with diversity. The story is packed with a lot of different um, motivations, symbolisms, all kind of different things, life lessons. There's actually one part in the book where one of the characters, she's telling about her powers, and everybody assumes that she didn't have any just because she was keeping them secret. And she goes on to tell them, look, a lot of people assume they're born with these great gifts. I had to work for mine. And I think that speaks to a lot of us in life because we all have powers. We all have these abilities to do great things. And when you spend the time looking at what other people can do, you just automatically assume they were born like that or they just are just naturally good. And we all have to work for our gifts and our abilities. And the book is filled with a lot of different life lessons like that, plus action and adventure, drama, a little romance, all that love good stuff.
awesome, awesome. All right, Legacy, I see you. Um, when you were writing, right?
Hmm.
They usually ask what reader did you have in mind? I'm not gonna ask you that. I want to know. I want to know if somehow you kind of place yourself within the book, like there's a part of you that wanted to live that kind of life, and you say, you know what? Let me just add a little Jay Reace in this. I would really like to do this, so why not? Did you have that moment?
Absolutely.
Of course, I hear it. I hear it. Of
uh,
course.
yeah, it's hard for me to believe that any author
Mm-hmm.
doesn't put a part of themselves into the book that they're writing. Maybe not every single character, maybe not every scenario, but for it to actually be a part of you and for you to put good writing in it,
Mm-hmm.
you have to write what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And most authors write from their own experiences. I mean, clearly you have to research certain things or you might have to look stuff up, but you tend to gravitate to what you already know. And my book Legacy, it's primarily my family was my muse. They were my motivation to begin the story. And I took pieces of all of us and put them in different characters and very loosely based. We have a running joke now, like around the family, like we call each other the characters that we know that we are supposedly. So it's just, I think every author does that, in my opinion.
Okay, and I bet that's one of the parts that you really enjoyed the most about writing, right?
Absolutely. Again, yes, because anything that like this is actually my first published novel. I have more coming down the pipeline, and every book that I'm writing, every novel, it's either something I've already done, it's something that I want to do, something I've always wanted to be. So there's a book that I'm writing now that is about a black architect, excuse me, a black archaeologist, and he
Mm-hmm.
goes and he finds all these different trinkets around the world, kind of like a black Indiana Jones kind of. And I've always wanted to do that, travel the world and just explore things. So yes, I put myself in my writing. I'm not too proud to say that.
I completely understand because I told persons that when I write,
Hmm.
the biggest thing for me was freedom of expression because I did
Yes.
a self-help book. So it was
Hmm.
me being able to just say how I felt and how I wanted people to feel about themselves and all of that.
Mm.
So that's why I put that question to you because I really want to I really want to know that authors love what they do. That's what I want to know.
Yes. Yes.
All
Like
right.
I couldn't write a story if it bored me. I have to like my first audience is myself. And
Mhm.
if I don't enjoy what I'm writing, if I don't want to see the rest of the story, I'm not going to write it. It's as simple as that.
Marvelous. So we're gonna take a moment to see um okay, no comments yet. All right. So my next question, what kind of superpowers did you discover during the writing process? Like you must have known about some you had before.
Right.
What are some of the powers that you discovered? And then I'll ask you the next question.
So I found the ability to stay committed to myself because before writing this book, I would make a lot of promises or I would say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I would fall through. But when I started writing this book, I promised and told myself, I'm going to finish this book if it takes me 50 years. And I got it done. And it showed me that, yo, you know what? You can commit, you can do what you need to do. And me personally, I feel that is a superpower, particularly nowadays when so many people are trying to change their behaviors and trying to do so many things. And for whatever their reasons are, they don't. So I think that's the superpower that I found.
And do you think that what persons might say is their greatest weakness, do you think they could actually turn that into a superpower? Is that even possible?
Yes, I do think it's possible. I think once a person realizes what their weakness is, they can work
Mhm.
on making it stronger. And then when you make it stronger, you keep working at it and it keeps building and getting better and better and better. At some point, yeah, it can become your superpower and it can possibly become your best tool.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. So I'm gonna be asking a lot of questions. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
This is just,
Hmm.
um when we think about superpower, we think about something that we are extremely good at, like I
Hmm.
can do this without even thinking too much.
Hmm.
Tell us about one of yours and how you would help the world with that superpower.
Well, anyone who's been on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok accounts, they know that I go by the alter ego, Mr. Positivity.
Yes, I
That
saw
is that is my primary superpower because
that.
ever since I can remember, I've always been an upbeat, positive person. And it's not because I think every day is going to be good, but inside I know that I can find good in every day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for me, I think that has always been my number one superpower. And I don't think anyone out there has to think about it of like, what do I do the best or what do I do well?
Mhm.
One of the reasons why I found what my superpower was is that I went to, I want to say it was about like four, maybe five people that I really trust and I knew would be honest with me. And then I asked them, I was like, what do you feel? What are three things you feel I do well? And what are three things you think I don't do well? And I listened to what all those people said. And don't get me wrong, they said some things that did hurt my feelings, but majority of them said you're positive, you're upbeat, and you just have a very creative soul. And of course, they said some things again that hurt my feelings. I was like, wow, I
Mhm.
really do that? Okay, I got to fix that. All right, but okay, I get it. So that's what I suggest anyone looking to see what their superpowers are.
Yeah. And that's really amazing when you can actually look well. You don't just ask yourself because you may run into some disappointments. So
Right.
asking people you can trust is really a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Having that support, to kind of help you identify your kryptonite, because every superhero does
Right.
have a weakness as well as the strength that everybody admires them for. And you mentioned you being Mr. Positive. Um, when I have my low days, so
Mm-hmm.
let me use my book title for example, Breaking Your Barriers. So my husband
Okay.
would say, you are misbreaking your barriers. You're not supposed to feel these kind of ways. You're not supposed to say
Right.
certain things. People are looking at you. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying to you now, Mr. Jay Reace, do you ever have those moments when you feel like your superpower is not even a superpower at all? And if people ever find out that I'm a little bit shaky on my right wing, then they might not believe in me so much. You see, you understand
Yes,
exactly what I mean.
I
How do
know it.
you maintain the positivity? Like people are dying out here, and you said it's your superpower. So I want you to tell the people tonight how you do it.
So I'll tell everyone two things. So again, I'm Mr. Positivity. In my house, everyone knows that I'm Mr. Positivity. And there'll be moments where I can get on my Mr. Positivity vibe, my wife, my kids. Sorry, Mr. Positivity. I'm not in the mood. I can't deal with it right now. Just let me be me, you know? Because everybody has their points. Like everybody doesn't want to necessarily feel happy every single moment, or they don't want you to say something cliche and you have to respect that. So I guess to answer your question, there are days where I don't feel like being Mr. Positivity. There are days where I don't feel like being happy. And I have to be honest with myself and even my audience. So, anyone out there, like if you were to look at my videos for Mr. Positivity, I will tell you there are days where, you know what, I just don't feel like being Mr. Positivity today, but I know I made a commitment to you. And a part of being positive is staying committed and valuing all the things that you said is going to do. So I would spin it like that or something like that. And that's essentially how, I'm not going to say I stay positive all the time, but I look for that goodness or that happy, joyful place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that reminds me of, even watching the popular, what's it called, Smallville with Clark Kent,
Right.
when or any other superhero movie
Mm-hmm.
or animated movie for that matter, when the hero actually loses their strength in
Mm-hmm.
something or a particular power in something, and
Yeah.
they kind of come down. Maybe they don't fly anymore, so now they have to live
Mm-hmm.
like the regular man. And people kind of get to warm up to them, see them in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, let me say, I believe that kind of vulnerability makes
Mm-hmm.
it more easier for people to actually connect with you. As you said, people don't want you to be positive all the time, as if, Jay Reese
Right.
doesn't have a care in this world.
Right.
All his bills are paid. he doesn't have any outstanding credits and all of that. You
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
Everything is up for you. People don't
absolutely.
want to hear the cliche stuff.
Absolutely. And it's funny because like I listen to a lot of different motivational speakers and people that I look up to. And
Yes.
I remember, I mean, life always has its challenges, but I knew back in the day, I used to have some serious challenges. Like I wasn't able to pay rent. I wasn't able to put
Mhm.
food in my refrigerator. I was broke. I drove a hoopty that at any given moment it could bust down on me. Like there was a lot of stuff that I did that a lot of people don't know about. Like even my close family, like they don't know I had those times because for one, I was too proud to ask for help. And two, I was always trying to be everything's rainbow and sunshines, unicorns all over the place, you know? And I had to learn, like, I had to be honest with myself, if nobody else, about my circumstances. But I heard Steve Harvey say once that think about all the times you've been through, think about all the heartache and pain you've ever been through. As of right now, you have 100% success rate of making it through because you lived through all of that. So you're going to tell me whatever you're going through right now or whatever you're going to go through in the future, you can't get through.
Mhm.
Come on now, we all can. So once I heard that, I was like, yo, he's right. Because everything I've been through in my life, no matter how bad I thought it was, I made
Mhm.
it through. And I
Yeah.
think that's how
Yeah.
we have to start looking at things.
Yeah. And I think it shows that you are a real person when people can see that,
Hmm.
Jay is not Jay as usual.
Hmm.
Oh, I did not know that Jay would have a down day, so
All right.
people really kind of not
Hmm.
have you up here, but they kind of feel like we're on the same
Right.
on a level playing field
Hmm.
because you have weaknesses, I have weaknesses myself.
Yes.
All right, all right. So you said, based on what I understand so far, the vulnerability and probably stepping down every now and again and to just cool off
Hmm.
and let the wind blow through your hair. Yes, you will
Exactly.
get better.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, looking all stylish. That's a bold pose right there. I can tell you. That's a magazine pose right there.
Exactly.
All right. I really admire your honesty and your
Oh,
vulnerability
thank you.
because even speaking to a lot of people, as you said, like yourself,
Hmm.
motivational speakers, sometimes we don't understand when to create that balance to let people kind of reach us a little
Hmm.
more. We don't know when to be vulnerable. We don't know when to be all rainbows and bunnies. How can other people create that balance in their lives and not seem too perfect all the time?
Hmm. Wow, that's a good question.
Everything.
I never really thought about it that way, but if I had to give a piece of advice of how to be balanced of what to share and what not to share, and how to be vulnerable and still keep your sanity, because trust me, there's a lot that you could probably say to people.
Yeah.
I I would say you have to ask yourself: is this going to help other people or is this going to help myself?
Mm.
So a lot of times when I make my videos, regardless of what social media platform I'm on, I always have to, one, ask God, what do you want me to say today? And two, what do I need to say to help other people? Now, I'll speak from a place of myself, and from my heart, but I have to make sure that I'm not embarrassing anybody that I personally know, not embarrassing myself, but I want to be honest, as honest as possible with everyone out there. And I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it did. Like I couldn't even think of an answer to that question. I'm asking. It's because, like I said earlier,
Hmm.
it is something that gets me all the time, and I've really been processing that for,
Hmm.
for, for the past 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Like, how do I actually know when to share and when not to share? People do need help,
Hmm.
but they don't want to. not see you here. Forget what I
Hmm.
mean. They want to see you here, but they don't really want to see you come down too low.
Right. So a mentor of mine, it's funny that we're having this conversation because yesterday I was speaking to a mentor of mine, and we were actually talking about authenticity on social media because
Mhm.
that word gets thrown around so much. Like, oh, you got to be real. People want to see real right now. They want to know the real you.
Mm.
And that has gotten a lot of people in trouble because they'll go and say and do things that at that moment, yeah, it was real, but it ended up hurting so many different people, and people have gotten fired or canceled and all kind of other stuff. So I think a lot of times when you're talking about authenticity and you're talking about being real and vulnerable, again, you have to ask, is this going to help people or is this going to hinder people? And does it give a temporary satisfaction for temporary emotions that I'm having? And is it helping me in the long run of my permanent goals that I'm trying to reach?
That's a standing
Mhm.
ovation. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I think that was so profound.
I wish it came from me. It wasn't. Like I said, my mentor had told me that, and I'm just regurgitating what my mentor said.
Wow. You have a good mentor and
Well,
you're in good hands. So
oh,
you
thank you.
are gonna grow.
Well, like I honestly have like, oh wow, I have a lot of mentors. Because I'm a person that believes that no one knows everything, and you have to constantly get coaching and help from so many different other places. Sorry, something
Yeah.
just like went in my eye. But you have to get stuff from everywhere. And if you are not humble enough to ask for help and
Mm-hmm.
get knowledge from people who've already been from where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, you're not going to make it very far. And if you do, it's not going to last very long, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about finding people that are where I want to go and doing my best to get knowledge from them. And a lot of times mentors, you don't have to have a mentor in person. That could be from a book, a video, an audio. You don't have to meet the person. Like their words, that knowledge is already there. You just got to find it.
Yeah. And it's like John Maxwell said, the more you learn or the more you know, it's the more you realize that you don't know. So
Yes.
learning
Yeah.
is so important. And as you said, you don't have to have a person per
Mm-hmm.
se, but you can learn from books.
Yes.
Very good source of learning, watching
Mm-hmm.
videos,
Yes.
learning some other skills from even the people around you that you think aren't so brilliant.
Oh yeah,
Like,
a hundred
listen to
percent.
podcasts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Oh, I was just about to say, like, I can guarantee, like, everybody you meet
Mm-hmm.
knows something you don't know. And that fact alone should help us all listen more frequently because it doesn't matter who it is, they're going to know something you don't know. You just got to make sure it's worth the time for you to listen and know about it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not well, if you say it's your opinion, but I share the same sentiment. We just have to
Yeah.
take the time to listen
Mm-hmm.
to other persons. Take heed, even if they're not really saying something directly, but just
Yes,
pay attention and you will get a lot. Believe me, people say
absolutely.
more without words than they do with words. Trust me. They say actions speak louder than words, but we need to just use that across the border, like really,
Mm-hmm.
really look and pay attention. We will learn.
One of my favorite quotes comes from James Baldwin. I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. And once I
Mm,
heard that quote, I started paying more and more attention to what people do versus what they say.
yeah. And that's why I asked the question about the balance, creating the
Mm-hmm.
balance. Someone shared on their WhatsApp status today,
Mm-hmm.
which is more important? Is it motivation or discipline? And I must tell you, that
Mm,
question had me thinking because straight
mm,
away I remember the quote. I don't remember who said it, but they
mm-hmm.
said, motivation is a thing that we need every day, just like bathing, something like
Yeah.
that. If I'm butchering it, I'm sorry, people who are quoting. Yeah, we need it every day, just like bathing. So I
Yeah.
think that there are times, even like us or you, then when the motivation isn't there, you just don't feel like being Jay Reace. You
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like cooking anything today. I don't feel like even washing up. I don't feel like combing my hair. I don't
Right.
feel like reading no book, doing
Mm-hmm.
no podcast, doing nothing at all. But when you are disciplined, it pushes you to finish what you started, whether you had the motivation or not. It's like that drive that keeps you going even after the motivation left you, because it will leave, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It will leave. Go
Oh,
on, you have something to say.
well, no, I was just going to say that I agree with you completely because when you first asked that question, my initial response was going to be your your determination or your discipline. But listening to what you were saying, actually, motivation, and again, in my opinion, I'm agreeing with
Mhm,
you. I think is more important than discipline because if you don't have the motivation, it doesn't matter what discipline you have, you're
mhm.
not going to do it. So you need the motivation.
That's fair enough.
Hmm.
That's fair enough. I think so. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. What else do you do on this fantastic author journey of yours? You said you're a motivational speaker, and
Hmm.
your superpower is definitely helping other people become their
Oh,
best
thank
self.
you.
What else do you do?
Well, I'm also a husband. I'm also a father. Those are my two primary, highest
Ooh,
priority stuff that I do. But I
okay.
also host two shows. I host Bite the Bullet. I also host
Okay.
Wake Up with Jenny and Jay. That's more of a talk show type show. What else do I do? Man, I make TikToks. I love TikTok. That's just kind of like my stress creative relief right there. I write scripts. I write novels. I
Mhm.
just like to do whatever I think I can do. I just try it. And if I
Yeah.
can't do it, then I know, well, I'm not going to do it. But I just like to do stuff. I don't like to do things just to be busy. But if I think I can, I'm
Mhm.
going to try it.
Yes. And that title, Bite the Bullet, is really intriguing. What is that about? How did you even come up with that name?
So, Bite the Bullet, I knew that I wanted to host a show and I wasn't
Mhm.
sure exactly what the premise of the show was going to be. And I kept playing with this question of having the audience go through 20 questions. Like, what if I could ask them just a series of questions? Would that be interesting? And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? A whole hour of just asking them questions, it's going to get a little tedious. It's not going to like be
Mhm.
fun. So I was
Yes.
like, well, let me ask them, like, maybe have a conversation with them first and then ask them questions in the last half of the show. And that's the pretty much the whole show in itself. Like, I have a guest that comes on, we talk about what they're doing, their trials, their tribulations, how they overcame them, and how
Mhm.
they help people. And then after that, we ask the bite the bullet questions. And the bite the bullet questions are opinion based questions that gives you more insight of who this person actually is and their opinions on multiple different things, anywhere from how do you make this world a better place? In your opinion, how does we make this world a better place? If you had a billboard, what would you put on it? If you could have dinner with three people dead or alive, who would it be? Like, it's a multifaceted, all kind of different types of questions. And it's remarkable the answers that all of these people give, because I have people from all walks of life, different types of gender, and everyone answers the questions completely different. Now, don't
Mhm.
get me wrong, like, every so often an answer might be similar to a previous guest answer, but
Yeah.
all the answers are different. So, case in point, with the three people question, like, who would you have
Mhm.
dinner with, dead, three people dead or alive? I had one guest on the show. He mentioned that he would have dinner with Robin Williams, the famous actor, Michael
Mhm.
Jackson, and I think the last person he said was like Gandhi or something like that. Like, I don't remember. And of course, like, I say, well, why would you have dinner with these three people?
Yeah.
And of course, he's like, Michael Jackson, because I like his music. We could talk about music all day long. He was like, Gandhi, I just want to know his philosophy and stuff like that. And then he got to Robin Williams. And this is the interesting part, because he got to Robin Williams and he was like, I would go to Robin Williams and I would ask him why. And I would try to stop him from killing himself. And I was
Wow.
like, yo, I never even thought about trying to have dinner with people for that reason. That was okay. That was pretty cool. And it's stuff like that. And then I had another man. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was a female guest. Same question, but she said she would have dinner with Gandhi, Jesus, and Buddha, right? And I was like, okay, this would be a very interesting conversation. And she was like, honestly, that's exactly why I would have dinner with those three people, because three religious titans, profound. I would love to have dinner with them. And I was like, okay, I can't get mad at that. And that's the point of the show. Like, you get to hear all these difference of opinions and different ways of life and how people do things. And you find out that we all are human and we
Yeah.
all do make mistakes. We might handle them differently, but we all make mistakes. But I think the difference between someone who is successful and someone who hasn't reached it yet is that the successful person has kept trying. They
Mm,
failed their way up there. So
mhm. Yeah.
that's
And
how I
that
feel.
brings me to another interesting question
Hmm.
about, making mistakes. I have seen, because I
Right.
watch a lot of shows, I'm sorry, I am a
Right.
TV person. So I have seen where, the same superheroes, they do have their times when
Hmm.
we want to curse them out when we see them on our screen. And,
Right.
you shouldn't have done that, but they did. They
Right.
make their mistakes and,
Hmm.
we feel badly about it.
Hmm.
How
Okay.
do, superheroes, people like ourselves that people look up to all the time, how can we make the best of our mishaps or mistakes?
I think it's just a matter of hopefully learning from whatever challenge or mistake that you did. So, if you don't mind indulging me, and I'll share a very quick, brief story that when I was in the military, I used to drive vehicles and I used to have to pick people up and drive them all over the place. And there was this one day where I was coming back from dropping some people off and I was driving a huge 44 passenger bus and my brakes started to overheat in the back. So I called my dispatcher and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Do I stop or do you just want me to keep coming in? And I mean, we had a brief conversation. He was asking me how bad it was. And the final determination was that I should just bring it in. So once I got into the yard, my dispatcher, before I could even tell him I was there, he was like, hey, take it over to maintenance, which is across the yard, chalk the wheels, and whatever you do, don't put the air brake on because the wheels will lock. Okay, enough said. I get it, right? So once I got over the maintenance, I grabbed the chalks from underneath the seat. I go to the back of the bus. And as I'm walking, I'm realizing that I'm getting back to the back way faster than I ever should have. So I stop and the bus is still moving forward. So I turn to the side. And as I turn to the side, I see my Air Force career go up in smoke as the bus plows through the maintenance wall.
Mm.
Talk about mistakes. So I call my dispatcher and I'm like, yeah, I need you to come and see something real quick. So long story short, I
Mhm.
became the butt of a lot of jokes. And anyone out there, if you ever have to park a 44 passenger bus because the brakes have overheated, put on the air brake until you chalk the wheels and then release it. Because what my dispatcher didn't tell me and what I didn't know was the brakes weren't going to cool down fast enough for them to lock up if I
Mhm.
quickly go back and unpop the air brakes. I didn't know that. So, in short, yes, I tried to put a drive through our maintenance window. Luckily, there was nobody in there.
Mhm.
But the lesson I learned from that is that I really have to pay attention and I need to ask follow up questions. And that has
Mhm.
shaped a lot of different situations in my life that if I hadn't asked questions, I either wouldn't be here or I would not be the same version of who I am now. So that's what I learned from that experience. And trust me, if I can live through knocking a bus through a wall in the military, there's nothing you guys can't do. Trust me.
And I
Trust me.
assume that's why you call yourself a military brat.
I actually call myself a military brat because my mother was a drill instructor for 20 years. She did
Mm-hmm.
that. And we moved a lot. My father was an Army helicopter pilot. He did that for, I think 5 years, maybe 7. But I moved around a lot as a kid. And that's why I call myself a military brat, because I travel so much. And then I joined the Air Force. So that made me travel that much more. And to this day, I still travel. So I just love to travel. But I'm a military brat because my parents were military and I just traveled a lot.
Right. So basically, for the persons who are watching, for the
Hmm.
persons who will be watching the replay, and for the persons who haven't joined us yet,
Hmm.
people who are up here, who we see here, do make mistakes. They are human beings. And of
Yes.
course, they do learn from their
Hmm.
mistakes. We all can learn from our mistakes. And I want you to tell the viewers how they can discover their superpower, because you discovered yours.
Hmm.
You kind of place yourself inside legacy. You immerse yourself in something that you enjoy, which is what all heroes must do.
Hmm.
Enjoy what they do, right? Tell
Hmm.
the viewers now how they can discover their superpowers, especially for the people who probably came here feeling like, oh, I'm not an author, I'm not a
Hmm.
motivational speaker, I'm a nobody. Like, what am I even good at? Just take the time to speak to those people now. Tell them how you can help them or
Well,
how
I can.
they can work.
I can already tell you, nobody is a nobody. Everybody is a somebody, and your story is interesting to somebody. I can guarantee it. There's times where I can post on Instagram something I had for dinner, and the comments I get from that, I'm just like, "Yo, it's dinner. Like, why is this interesting?" But everybody finds something interesting, and your life, your story is interesting to somebody. You just got to be able to tell it and start sharing it. So, for everybody out there looking for how to find your superpower, here, let me give you a few tips. I've already said a couple in the beginning. Find 3 to 5 people that you trust that can be honest, and just ask them, what do I do? What do you feel I do well? And what do you think I don't do well? And actually listen to what they say, because you will find common themes among all those people. Now, don't ask them at the same time. Try to make sure they're different places, but ask these people generally, what do I do well? And what do you think I don't do well? And listen to what they say. Now, I also want you to ask yourself and be honest with yourself, and like ask yourself, what do you do well and what don't you do well? I knew that I always had my imagination. Regardless of what I did, I knew that was something that I always do well. I just had to make sure I could monetize that. What I didn't do well, I knew that time management wasn't a good thing for me. And then I had to go and start working on it. What was causing me not to have good time management? Was it my phone that I looked at for like 2 or 3 hours? Was it because I was watching like a movie marathon on Netflix? I had to figure all that stuff out. And then once I figured it out, I could move forward. And then the last step I would ask you is, think back to when you were your happiest. Was it when you were a child? Was it when you were a teenager? When was that time you were the happiest? And I know we all have issues with our childhood or issues as adults, but every single person, as a child or even as a preteen or a teenager, there are things you probably gravitated to. Was it art? Was it sports? Was it academics? Was it chess? What was it? Was it building things? Was it science? Like, figure what you used to love. Once
Mhm.
you're able to find what you used to love, go back to it, play with it, figure out if you can still make that and bring it into your life now and use it to build a better life, and figure out if that is what your superpower is. And also just try things out. Like I said earlier, if there's something that I think I want to do, I just try it. If I don't like it, okay, I don't like it. If I'm not good at it, okay, I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not good at it. But at least you tried to figure out, because it's better to know what you don't like versus
Mhm.
just sitting there worrying what you like.
Yeah, that's some really good advice. And just for the people who did not hear while you take a little
Yeah.
water break. You said find the 3 to 5 people that can give you good advice, people who you trust.
Hmm.
These are people, of course, who are designated or placed strategically in your life to
Yep.
notice you. These can be family members, maybe a
Hmm.
coworker that you trust, a boss,
Right.
somebody who knows you for
Hmm.
you. So even if somebody said something about you, they would know better. So
Yep.
ask these people what they think, what they believe are your strengths, your
Hmm.
weaknesses, or if it's just something that you can work on.
Hmm.
Then you would ask yourself also what you are good at doing. Assess your own strengths. What
Yes.
if this, I don't believe this is actually a weakness for me. Maybe I need to tighten up a screw here and there,
Hmm.
and work on the things. You would know in yourself if you can really wash the dishes or not. I'm just saying.
If you're
Or
being
you
honest
need
with
a
yourself,
dishwasher.
correct. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Because
so
we all
honest
know
with
there are some
yourself.
delusional people out there. But yes, if you are being honest with yourself, you'll know what you're good at and what you're not if you are truly being honest with yourself.
Yes. And then he said, what caused you not to do well on the things that you find in yourself that are not? So
Hmm.
you're not so keen on doing, these aren't your, sure ain't your superpowers, but you would love to do it. And you said, if I like something, why don't I try it? If I
Hmm.
should or not, you would
Right.
know. Think back on your happiest times. Happiest times for me, of course, you said it, childhood, because we didn't have a care in this world. There is
Right.
no way we can go back there, but
Hmm.
because adulthood is just sometimes. But we can learn to make the best of what we have now. So think on your
Yes.
happiest. Find a happy place even in your adulthood and maximize, like really max out on that happy place. Find a way to make it happen all the time if you can,
Yes.
and then build on that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's all I got so far. Oh, I'm learning. Oh my God, this is so cool. I'm learning
Mhm.
and it's really exciting. You have been a really awesome guest.
Well,
What
thank
did
you.
I miss tonight? I am enjoying this. I hope and I trust that those who are watching, you can really look into yourself. If you need a
Hmm.
little more help, you can find Mr. Jay Reace on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even check out his TikTok. I'm not a big fan of TikTok. Maybe it's because it's something I don't really understand just yet.
Oh, I got to get off the show now. I got to take off my headphones and everything. You don't like TikTok? Wow. I'm talking to that.
I sound so old, but it's, I don't know. I watch
I,
it, I enjoy it, but I'm not there with it.
well, I admit when I first got on TikTok, I wasn't too thrilled about it. I got on it for my daughter because she was
Mhm.
all about TikTok and she asked me to join. So I did. And like you, when I first got on, I was watching videos like, this makes no sense. I don't understand this. Why is this funny? I don't get it. And then I just started posting videos, just like stuff around the house and just us doing stuff. And before I knew it, I'm sitting on 10,000 followers and people asking me stuff and my positivity and Mr. Positivity and like all that stuff. So it's fun. Like I love TikTok. It's a great outlet just to be silly and release your creativity.
Yes. And release the stresses of the day-to-day life. So for the viewers who are
Yes.
watching us, just you can share with us what your superpowers are and how you believe that superpower can actually save the world. Don't be like Pinky and the Brain, but how you can actually save other people's lives
Right.
with the strength that you have. All
Right.
right,
And believe if sorry to interrupt, like believe me,
that's fine.
everybody has a superpower. Like I
Mhm.
know there are a lot of people who might be listening. You might say, I don't have a superpower. There's nothing. I'm just me. There is something inside of you that you are longing for and is there waiting to come out of you. I promise you. You just have to take the time to find it.
Mm, well said. I need to go and find some more of my superpowers. Tell us where we can find legacy and what are some of the things that we can look out for while reading or while tuning into your channel? What can we look out for?
Well, Legacy is out in all major retailers. It's at Barnes and Nobles, Target, Books A Million, Walmart. It's at all like anywhere that sells books has my book. Please go in and ask them at the store to order your copy. Like everywhere books are sold, you can find my book, Legacy.
And it's in paperback and ebook format.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna turn one of your bite the bullet questions on you because I would love to know.
Okay. All right.
what your response would be. And it's a question that you talked about earlier. If you could have dinner with 3 people dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Oh. I'm sorry. I just saw the comment. The comment caught me. My smile and willingness to help others. I love that. Yes. So if I could have dinner with 3 people, so my first person would always be probably Michael Jackson, just because like he is one of my favorite artists ever. I would love to talk to him about music. My second person would probably be my great uncle Hank, because in my youth, me and him used to have the greatest conversations, and I never felt like I got to have that last conversation with him. So I would really love to have that conversation. And number 3 would be Number 3 would probably be it's a tie, either Malcolm X or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It will be a tie for those 2. Like either of those 2, I would be happy. At the height of their social justice careers, right before they're assassinated, I would love to have that conversation with them just to soak up the knowledge and see what their plans for the future were and all that lovely stuff. I would love to do that.
Very nice. Well said. Well played. We've actually started our 10 questions. I'm going to be asking you 9 more questions.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm so sorry. I apologize for interrupting. My laptop's about to die. Let me plug it in. I'm so sorry. This is so unprofessional. So
okay, that's fine. So viewers, subscribers, family, friends, and loved ones, well-wishers, how did you find tonight's live? What have you learned so far? Have you discovered your superpower? Are you planning on putting in measures in place to discover if you want to fly, if you want super strength, if you want the power to encourage, if you want the power to protect somebody or some people, be caring, be gentle? That's the kind of protective power that you might want. What kind of superpower? Is it the power to style hair, power to make money, power to write great books, best-selling books, motivate people, coach people? What kind of superpower do you want to discover? Think about that. All right, Mr. Jay Reace.
Okay, I apologize. Thank you for your patience. I apologize about that. Wow. I just happened to notice it wasn't plugged in and the little notification popped up. I was like, I might need to plug it in.
It has happened to me a couple of times on live streams. All right. So this might seem a little weird, but it just popped into my head.
So what are you about to ask? I'm a married man. You better be careful.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm being silly. I'm sorry.
I would never do that. Mrs. Reace, don't listen to him, okay? He's drinking too much over there. I don't know what's in that glass.
I promise it's just water. I promise it's just water. This is me. This is a natural me. I promise. Just water.
All right, Mr. Reace, I believe you. My second question just popped into my head. Okay. If you were to be a fruit, what kind of fruit would you want to be?
I would want to be an avocado.
Ooh, interesting. Why?
I just really love avocados, and if I had to be a fruit, I think I would be an avocado. To be honest, that's my reason. Nothing deep there. It's just I just like avocados. So,
That water is unhealthy. Oh my God.
I promise you, if anybody out my real life sees this video, this is me 24/7. This is just how I am. I'm just this kind of person. But I'm sorry.
All
Go ahead.
right. No problem. We're keeping it real over here, and I hope people are
Yes.
enjoying the show.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite actor or actress?
Oh, can I say actor and an actress?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So my favorite actor will forever be Chadwick Boseman. And honestly, before it was him, it was Denzel Washington. And I have loved Chadwick from afar. And then in his passing, all the illness and everything he was going through while helping and making everybody else strong made me love him that much more. And he is just an idol. And if I could be a fraction of the man that he was, I think I've done the job well done. So he's definitely my favorite actor. My favorite actress would have to be, she's not an actress per se, Ava DuVall. She's more of a director. But I just love everything she does. And I think she is a growing force to be reckoned with in the entertainment business. And I just love her to death.
Okay, wonderful.
And haven't even met him.
What about your favorite animated movie?
Oh, my favorite animated movie would have to be, my favorite animated. I got a lot because I watch kids stuff all the time. So my favorite movie would have to be. That's a tough one. I would because I can only say one. So like, the favorite would have to be.
I promise they're not gonna sue you for this. They can't hold it against you because you only have one. Just say one and apologize to the rest of them.
Does Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Does that fit into an animated? Because that has animated creatures in it. Does that count?
It can work, yeah.
Okay, all right. That one, and that's only my favorite because me and my family tend to quote that one the most throughout the house.
Okay, what's the quote?
Oh, just anything from the movie. To be honest, like that whole movie is quotable from the "Please, Eddie, please." I only did it because it was funny. Like it's just the whole movie.
Oh my God!
So, yeah,
I need to put you down for the entertainment segment because honestly, yeah, man. Now that I said that.
Okay.
Do you know any? Can you give us a popular Jamaican slang if you know any?
Popular Jamaican slang.
Anything Jamaican that you've heard that you can say?
And see, I used to live in New York, and I was around a lot of different islander people, and I can't really say if they were Jamaican or Trinidad or like I can't say exactly where they're from. So I apologize in advance if I offend someone by saying what I'm going to say and it's not Jamaican. I apologize. But something that I heard a lot was "Bumba clock." That's what I used to hear. But I don't know if that's Jamaican. And by your reaction, it might not be. And I don't know if that was appropriate to even say on the show. But that's usually what I heard, and I think. Am I in trouble? Did I say it right? I hear the husband laughing too. So either I did something really well or really, really wrong.
Oh Lord. I know you don't. You don't understand.
Oh, it's a bad word. Is it a bad word? Oh, is it a really bad word?
Yes.
Oh.
You don't understand. So my mind said, I bet he's going to say that word.
I'm so sorry. Everyone out there, I'm so sorry. My apologies. I'm so sorry.
They're not going to hold it against you because you don't know.
My bad. Wow. Okay.
Man.
So I will erase that from the database. Yeah. Wow. My apologies. I'm sorry.
I actually thought you would say, yeah, man, or,
Well, you had just
wagwan.
you had just said it, so I was like, you know what?
I, I
I better
just
go
said
with
it.
something different.
But then in the back of my mind, I said, Betty's going to use that B word. I just know it. Even when I
Oh
used to
man.
work at a call center, I had this supervisor who was telling us about some calls that she's had from persons overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And he was apparently a tourist at some point. He came here and he was telling her about the words that he learned, and that was
Yeah.
one of them. I don't know what is so interesting about that word. I think
Well,
it's because they don't understand.
yes, and it's also that like they say that like the bad words of any language are the first
Yeah,
things people tend to learn for
gravitate
some
to, yeah.
strange reason. Like it just sticks. So I don't know. Again, I apologize. I'm sorry.
It's fine. You don't understand what.
I've learned something new today. So wow.
Listen, I'm
Mm,
sorry, but my day is made. So
you're
no
welcome.
apology needed. I don't even know what else to ask you. I'm
Oh man. Oh man. That's a wrap, everyone. We're going home. We'll see you later. Oh man.
I was at question. Well, we
Mm,
did 5 questions, so I'm done
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But it was I don't know. I enjoyed it from the start to the finish. I don't know about nobody else.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I feel good. I'm gonna have some food when I'm done because all this laughing is making me hungry. I just want to say that your wife is a lucky girl.
Thank you.
You have a great sense of humor.
Thank you.
I am enjoying your personality and the
Mhm.
conversation just flows. Can I tell you, I didn't have any questions for you, but I was really looking forward to having a natural conversation based on what
Mhm.
I saw on your page. So I said,
Yeah.
Jay is great.
Well, wow. I'm happy because that just shows that you were paying attention and what I said you gravitated towards. So I'm flattered. Thank you.
Yes. And Mr. Superhero, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Talk Truth Series. It was definitely a real talk, definitely a real man tonight. You need to, somebody says that you need to come to Real Connection Men's Edition, which is what we have on a Saturday night. So I'm going to put you
Okay.
down for that. So
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you in advance, though, to see, tell you about what we talk about, or if you have
Mhm.
a topic you'd like to share on. And
Mhm.
on that night, you'll be talking to my co-host. His name is Lamar.
Lamar.
So
Okay.
you're gonna be getting a lot of Jamaican on that night because he's yeah.
All right. No worries. I won't say the B word. I'll be my best behavior. So no worries. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I am getting out of control here, but guys, I really enjoyed the conversation. Please like and share the video. Don't comment that B word, but just have a good laugh. But I want to say, the peace of God be with you and your family, and all the best with your book. We will most definitely be chatting again.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming out, especially you for sharing an hour, and thank your family too for lending us an hour of your time with the Talk Truth Series fam. Anything else you
I
want to share with us before you go?
I just thank you for having me on. I really hope the audience, everyone listening, viewing, got something out of this interview, and I hope that you guys become the best versions of yourself. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your night. See you on Thursday for Girl Connection, y'all. Good night.